Okay, let's talk about dating because we haven't done that for a while here. So today's episode is first date do's and don'ts, or first couple dates, right? Early stage dating, do's and don'ts. And I'm sort of just going to mix the do's and don'ts together because they kind of flow really well together. So, first thing to consider is that it's not a job interview, right? So, don't fire off a whole bunch of first date questions as if it was an interview. The goal of the first date is a vibe check. Do you vibe? Is there some chemistry? Are there enough points of interest? Do you have fun with this person? Do you feel safe? And to a certain degree, do you feel seen and heard? Right? If someone's dominating the whole conversation without giving you room, then you're not really feeling seen or heard. And similarly, your goal isn't to figure out whether you are going to spend the rest of your life with this person. Your goal is just to see, like, do you like them enough to see them again? That is the goal for the first couple dates, and actually for the rest of the relationship. Every time you see them, do you like them enough to see them again? This is true for date 1, for date 5, 10, for 7 months down the line, 6 years down the line. Do I still like this person enough to continue spending time with them and investing in this relationship? Right? That's the goal. The goal isn't to identify whether they're good lifetime partnership material on the first date. It's not to figure out how they've dealt with their past trauma, how they feel about all of their exes, whether they are growth oriented or not. It's not a job interview. It's just two people getting together to see if they like each other enough to see each other again. That said, there is one question that I think is really important for you to figure out and to ask and to get an answer to, which is, what are you looking for? This is not, this shouldn't be a scary question. What are you looking for? Why are you dating? What are you hoping to accomplish by going on dates? This shouldn't be scary, but for some reason it really is. I think the fear is that if they don't want what you want, then they're not going to be a good fit for you. And that's going to be sad, especially if you like them. But you really want to figure out whether they want the same thing as you. If you are looking for a relationship and they are looking for something more casual because they just got out of a relationship, then you really want to figure that out sooner rather than later before you build up any attachment to them, right? If you are doomed from the get-go, and this is one of the things that will identify whether you're doomed from the get-go, if you have a significant mismatch in your dating goals, you want to get that out of the way sooner rather than later, right? And I know that the hopes is that, like, if you're looking for a relationship and you find someone that you really like, that you'd like to see again, and they are not looking for a relationship, the hope is that they might change their mind. They might realize how amazing you are and suddenly put their needs for a more casual relationship aside to jump into something more serious with you. And that is unreasonable. I'm sure you're fantastic. There's no doubt about it. And regardless of how fantastic you are, if they don't want what you want, it's much better for you to figure that out on the front end and for you to say something like, well, it's been great knowing you. I had a really nice time. I'm a little disappointed that you're not looking for something more serious because that's what I'm looking for. But I totally understand that you're not in that position. So it's probably best for us to part ways here. And if you're meeting on a dating site, you can probably get this out of the way before you even meet up for a date, right? So I think it is important for you to figure out whether you're on the same page about what you're looking for. And I think the other fear that people have about being honest about wanting a relationship is that it will scare the other person away, right? You're trying to lock it down, lock them in plug them into the future, but that's not actually what you're doing. What you're doing is being honest about what you're looking for. And that sort of sounds like this. Hey, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. That is what I'm dating for. I'm not in a rush to make that happen. I'm not saying that I want that with you. I'm just saying that that is my ultimate goal. That's it. That's all you're saying, right? You're announcing your intention for a relationship. And that allows the other person to position themselves appropriately. And if they also want that, hopefully they can say, cool, that's also why I'm dating. And if they don't want that, hopefully they don't lie to you and say, yeah, totally, that's for sure. I want that. In the hopes that they'll just sleep with you and then peace out, which can happen, unfortunately. And there's not a lot you can do to avoid that. It's sort of one of the risks of being out there and dating, right? Not everyone's going to be honest with you. So do figure out what they are looking for and be honest about what you are looking for. Okay, next, try to have fun. Try to be yourself, right? Not be yourself, not have fun, try. First dates can be really anxiety inducing. They can, lead to some clunky, awkward conversation. And that's normal, right? It's a stranger. Like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And especially if you can reduce or eliminate your expectations of the outcome of this date. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but try to have fun, right? Dating should be fun. It's sort of like volunteer work. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it, which makes me kind of sound like an asshole, but I think a lot of people don't volunteer at all. So I guess it's better than that. But dating should be fun, right? If dating is no longer fun for you, and if it is only anxiety inducing and you are feeling jaded and burnt out, then it's time to take a break from dating. Absolutely. I believe that. Take a break. Just remove yourself from the apps and the whole market as a whole and reconnect with your friends and with yourself and with your hobbies and some other things that you're passionate about. You can take a break. So dating should be fun. So try to have fun. I think what happens is that the expectations get so high and you feel like you need to succeed at this thing. And so it becomes sort of heavy, a heavy process where you think that you are going to fuck it up. And then it becomes really hard to feel like and to act like yourself, right? You're fun, loving, kind of kooky, maybe serious, nerdy, confident, whatever self, whatever the attributes that you sort of feel describe you, can sometimes just like melt away and disappear on the date because you're so anxious. So try to have fun, try to be yourself. Don't beat yourself up if it's clunky and it's awkward. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong or the other person isn't a good fit. It just means the first dates are awkward. Getting to know somebody is not super easy. And it's going to be easier with some people, right? I guess that's where sort of chemistry comes in. And man, chemistry is just really hard to talk about and to evaluate. And some people think that chemistry is the end all be all baseline gauge for whether it's going to work or not. And I don't really think that's true. You can have great chemistry with somebody where your compatibility is low, right? They're not a good fit. You want casual, they want serious, but the chemistry is like through the roof. Does that necessarily mean you need to go for it? Probably not. Does that mean it's going to be fun? Probably. Chemistry is fun, right? So I think dating can get really heavy, especially if it's been a while, or if you've been single for a while and you like really want a relationship. There can be a lot of pressure that you put on yourself to be successful. So drop the pressure and try to lower your expectations about having successful first dates. Just go out there and try to have fun, try to be yourself, try to lower the expectations. try to evaluate whether you like this person, right? The goal is to see if you like them, not to twist yourself into the most likable version of you, because that's inauthentic, right? And you want to really sort of put your try to put your most authentic self forward, because that's ultimately what is easiest. It's easiest to be yourself, because then you don't have to pretend to be somebody else, and you don't have to guess at what kind of person does this person want. Just try to be yourself. Then you don't have to figure out any of this weird math and all these like archaic, complicated rules about how dating should work. That's the problem with all of this advice, is that a lot of it is contradictory, right? One person says this, you got to play it cool, you got to have no needs. Someone says something else, it all kind of conflicts and you just don't know what to do, and then you're left sort of confused. Ultimately, what you want to do is the thing that is right for you. And that's hard when you're listening to a whole bunch of advice, including mine. And today's advice is particularly like all over the place. I guess I'm having a hard time organizing my thoughts, and that's fine. This is like one of those first dates where I'm trying to be myself and it's coming out a little clunky and awkward, but I'm going to trust that if we are a good fit for each other, you and I, that it's going to be okay, right? Our connection can weather awkwardness. And if you insist on me being perfectly articulate and succinct yet verbose, and to always deliver top-notch advice and fun, quippy one-liners, then I'm going to disappoint you sometimes, and then we just might not be a good fit. I'm just going to leave it at that. These are my do's and don'ts, which is really kind of basic, right? It's not a lot. I'm not leaving you here with a lot, which I think is really important. I think we can get sort of bogged down by a list of things we need to do for dating and love and relationship success. And it can feel like homework, right? Or a course that you can fail if you don't do it right. And that is, again, more pressure and expectations that kind of get in the way of connecting with another person. So can you just go into these first dates with the goal of trying to connect with another person? I'm not saying ignore crazy red flags, and I'm not saying to go after people who don't want what you want, but I am saying to like put some of that stuff aside and just try to spend a few hours with someone new. Get to know a few things about them, share a few things about yourself, find out a few things that you have in common, and see if you like them enough to see them again. That's it. That's my invitation to you. Good luck and have a beautiful week.